Guys!
Good evening, Philippines and the world. Today is Wednesday, December 2, 2015. Join us for the next 45 minutes as we deliver today's top stories around the globe. I'm Angelo Castro III.
We are here to give you carefully gathered stories, assuring you of accurate, truthful, and balanced newscasts. I'm Gerry Alcantara.
We are also seen in 1,360 satellite monitoring centers nationwide and via live streaming worldwide through www.untvweb.com. This is
Y News.
Here are the headlines. Youth participants in the Deferred Freedom Voyage still support the government's actions over the maritime dispute issue. The Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas reminds the public of the demonetization of old banknotes beginning 2016. The Department of Trade and Industry begins its probe over the complaints of sudden and unintended acceleration of Mitsubishi Montero Sport units.
Senator Gerry's poll hopes for COMELEC on Bank's favorable decision on her appeal over the issue of disqualification. And the National Meat Inspection Service intensifies its inspection of meat products sold in markets this holiday season.
First in the news, volunteers of Kalayaan Atin Ito movement are still willing to show their support for the government's action on the maritime dispute in the West Philippine Sea. Tell us why, Joanano.
They are some of the youth who came from various provinces in Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. They are temporarily camped in a subdivision in Taytay, Rizal while waiting for other volunteers arriving from other parts of the country. Most of them sacrificed being absent from school and away from home to participate in the Freedom Voyage to Kalayaan Island Group, supposedly from November 30 up to December 30. Some of them are temporarily staying at homes of subdivision residents. For some time now, the Kalayaan Atin Ito movement have been planning and conducting freedom caravans that provide information and encourage the youth to support government efforts to protect our territory through a freedom voyage to the West Philippine Sea.
Kasi yung nangyayari dun sa Spratly Islands, ilang years na yun na reclamation dun sa mga ibang islands. Sabi ko sa sarili ko, hihintayin ko pa ba na magkaedad ako. Kaya yun sumali ako para lang makatulong kahit ganito yung edad ko.
Unity po talaga yung natutunan ko dito. Opo, kusang loob po to eh. Yung decision po namin to na sumama.
The AFP has already expressed its objection against the Freedom Voyage due to travel risk and the effects it can bring to the Philippine case at the arbitral court. Recently, AFP expressed its objection against the voyage and refused to provide task force group to support it. On the other hand, Kalayaan Atin Ito movement reiterated it will not proceed with the voyage if the weather does not permit it. However, it will still go to Palawan to show unity and support with other civilians regarding our maritime dispute with China.
Dito po sa buwan ng Disyembre sila mag-i-issue ngayon ng kanilang resolution. So gusto po nating suportahan yung ating yung ating government panel na pumunta po doon at nagpresenta ng ating kaso. Na gusto po natin ang buong mundo nakatutok sa atin at titingnan nila, ang sambayan ng Pilipinas nakabantay doon sa ilalabas na resolution.
However, Malacanang said it is exerting enough efforts on the West Philippine Sea issue.
I have no opinion on the trip to Kalayaan. Ang sa amin lang naman talaga, ang sa atin bilang pamahalaan, bilang taong bayan, ang laban talaga doon, abangan natin yung laban doon sa arbitral tribunal kasi nanalo na tayo nung sa issue ng jurisdiction.
Though Kalayaan Atin Ito did not reach its target number of participants as well as the target date of the voyage in the West Philippine Sea, the group is grateful for the outcome of their freedom caravan. It is because there were Filipino youth who responded to their call for unity despite their young age and differences in regions of origin. Joanano reporting for Y News.
The Central Bank of the Philippines encourages the public to have their old banknotes exchanged with new ones before the year is over. Nel Maribohok will tell us why.
Old currencies printed before 2010 are currently undergoing the monetization process by the Central Bank of the Philippines. These are the old bills that belong to the New Design Series or NDS, which was first circulated in 1985. When a currency is demonetized, it loses its value. In December 2014, when BSP or Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas announced the demonetization of these bills. However, the public may still use it until December 31 of this year. From January 1 to December 31, 2016, old banknotes may be exchanged for new ones at any bank. BSP said there are about 16% or more than 400 million pieces of old currencies that are still out in circulation.
Come January 1, 2017, ang pera ng luma na NDS ay wala ng halaga, hindi na pwedeng pambayad at hindi na rin pwedeng palitan. Ibig sabihin, wala na. Dead currency na siya.
Only the new generation currency or NGC will be in circulation. Some noticeable features of NGC is the Blue Eagle logo of the BSP, the seal of the Republic of the Philippines, different sizes of serial numbers, highlighted print of colors, wider windowed security thread, younger faces of printed personalities, and larger number of denomination. There is number 5 and 10 peso bill in the new generation currency. Demonetization is done to prevent counterfeiting.
Ang main issue doon is to safeguard the integrity of our currency by withdrawing the NDS and in favor of the new generation currency na meron itong enhanced security features.
Even without using a detector, one can still tell whether a bill is fake or not.
Ang salat ng genuine ay yan, may embossity. Ang counterfeit ay wala. Ang tinuturo ko nga ang pinakamadali, itong kuko, gaganyanin mo, doon sa mga, yan, dito, padaanan mo ng kuko, padaanan mo ng kuko, compare mo dito. O, sige, touch mo. O, dito.
Mas magaspang po ito.
Magaspang, maligas-gas. Pero kung glossy lang siya na hindi nangyayari yung pagpapalitan ng kulay, glossy lang siya, ibig sabihin, no, yung pera mo ay peke.
From October to December 2016, Filipinos abroad who are in possession of these old peso bills may register the amount in BSP's website. They will be given a year to have it replaced at the BSP. Nel Maribuhok, reporting for Y News.
The Department of Trade and Industry began its investigation on the alleged sudden and unintended acceleration of Mitsubishi Montero sport vehicles. Tell us why, Monokson.
The Department of Trade and Industry has begun its panel investigation on the complaints coming from owners of Mitsubishi Montero sports vehicles. Mitsubishi has received more than 90 complaints but only 10 complainants attended the probe. Most of the complaints are about the alleged sudden unintended acceleration of Mitsubishi Montero sports units. They argue that their vehicles would suddenly accelerate uncontrollably and the brakes would not work. Even after a Montero unit stops, the engine revolution remains high and it releases black, thick smoke. Most of the unit's airbags are also defective. Purportedly faulty units are ones bought in 2009 to 2010.
Pagkambyo ko sa drive, nakatapak pa ako sa preno, bigla na itong humararot. Lahat ng nasa harapan ko, nasagasaan ko lahat. Dalawang motor, kaladkad ko sa ilalim, dinig na dinig ko. Kahit paanong gawin ko sa preno, ayaw ko tumlaw, halos umangat na puwit ko. This is like a psycho killer na anytime na nakaisip magluko, papatay ng tao. Habang nandyan po yung mga sasakyan na Montero na yan sa kalsada, habang may tumatakbong Montero dyan, hindi natin alam kung alin sa mga sasakyan na ito ang papatay sa kapatid mo, papatay sa mga kamag-anak mo, papatay sa mga kapitbahay mo.
Paano po yung mga namatay? Kasi hindi naman din po binayaran ng Mitsubishi yung mga family nung namatay.
Can you people in Mitsubishi sleep well at night thinking that there are deaths involved in these accidents? Can you sleep? Is it all about money?
The complainants demand that Mitsubishi Motors take responsibility on all the accidents and refund their money. They also demand that Mitsubishi stop selling Montero sports units.
to ask Mitsubishi to stop selling vehicles up to 2015. Yung mga 2015 models kasi yun ang na-involve doon sa aksidente. Huwag na munang ibenta yung nandyan pa. Kasi mamaya yun ay makapatay pa ng tao. Sayang yun. Sayang ang buhay eh.
Mitsubishi Philippines, however, says there are several reasons for the sudden unintended acceleration. Among these are the pedal entrapment, pedal misapplication, mechanical or technical failure, and sticky accelerator pedal. The company also maintains that their units have no defects and possibly all incidents are due to human error.
We are simply to explain facts and to show that there is no defect on the vehicle.
Mitsubishi Philippines also adds that they are just dealers of Mitsubishi Thailand. If defects are proven in Montero sports units, DTI will recommend a recall of the said Mitsubishi model. Monokson reporting for Y News.
The PNP Highway Patrol Group is proposing the deployment of premium buses along EDSA. Tell us why, Nel Maribohok.
The PNP Highway Patrol Group is planning to have premium buses in EDSA that will travel straight from North EDSA to Ayala, Makati. These buses would load and unload passengers only at the North EDSA and Ayala. HPG spokesperson Superintendent Grace Tamayo said it is one of the options of their technical working group for a faster travel going to Makati area.
Sa mga plans and programs ng TWG na pinag-usapan, meron po tayong premium bus na coordinated din po ito sa mga bus station. Meron silang nakaalat na isang bus from SM North hanggang Ayala lang po.
Tamayo added that the project aims to encourage motorists to take public transport instead of using their own private vehicles to minimize traffic jams in EDSA.
For purpose, isa sa mga to lessen din yung vehicle. Kung sa isang bus yung capacity niya 50, at least 50 vehicle or less sa 50 ang maliles natin na magbabaybay sa EDSA.
Tamayo also said that it would be comfortable because they would only allow the exact seating capacity and no standing commuters. Furthermore, the HPG assures that there will be no fare hikes on round trips from North EDSA to Ayala. For now, Tamayo said they already have 50 units which the bus company have volunteered as premium buses. Once implemented, terminals will be at SM North EDSA and Ayala Avenue in Makati. Nel Maribuhok, reporting for Y News.
Motorists in some part of EDSA are now experiencing heavy traffic buildup. Darlene Basingan is at EDSA Main Avenue to tell us why live. Good evening, Darlene.
Yes, Gerry, the traffic is now starting to build up on many major roads this rush hour. This is particularly true on both lanes of EDSA. Motorists and commuters going southbound through EDSA could expect light to moderate flow of vehicles from Balintawak to Kaingin Road. The traffic flow becomes moderate on Muñoz due to an ongoing bridge installation there. The traffic eases from Balasangin to Quezon Avenue, but on Nia Road, expect moderate flow of vehicles that becomes bumper to bumper when you enter Timog and Kamuning. The flow of vehicles slightly eases to moderate to heavy starting Cubao Nepa Q-Mart all the way to Santolan and becomes light to moderate again from White Plains to Shaw Boulevard. However, the traffic starts to build up again on the roads of Guadalupe, Orense, Kalayaan, Estrella, and Buendia. After Buendia, the flow of vehicles slightly eases from Ayala all the way to Tramo, Pasay City. Motorists could now expect light flow of vehicles from Taft Avenue all the way to SM Mall of Asia. Meanwhile, for those going north, there is a light flow of vehicles from SM Mall of Asia to Rojas Boulevard Extension. However, expect a traffic buildup on long stretch of northbound lane of EDSA that starts from Taft Avenue and goes all the way to Aurora Boulevard here in Cubao. The traffic flow eases from Monte de Piedad to Quezon Avenue but starts to build up again on Trinoma, North Avenue, Balasangin, and Muñoz. After Muñoz, the flow of vehicles becomes smooth up to Balintawak. Another major road experiencing traffic buildup is the C5 road, particularly on the long stretch of its southbound lane. Some parts of Ortigas, España, and Rojas Boulevard are also having traffic buildup. On the other hand, expect a light to moderate flow of vehicles in some parts of Quezon City like Commonwealth and Quezon Avenue. And yes, Gerry, that's the latest traffic situation on some major roads this rush hour. Back to you, Gerry.
Thank you, Darlene Basingan, reporting live from EDSA Main Avenue. In other news, Senator Grace Poe is hopeful that the COMELEC en banc will decide in favor of her appeal regarding the COMELEC 2nd Division's decision to disqualify her from joining the 2016 presidential race. Darlene Basingan is back to tell us why.
Senator Grace Poe has once again stressed that she has met all the requirements of being a natural-born Filipino. She is saddened by the recent decision of the COMELEC 2nd Division disqualifying her presidential bid in the 2016 elections.
Oh, I'm very disappointed. Nakakalungkot din.
The senator says that definitely somebody is benefiting from all of these.
Sino ba talaga ang magbebenepisyo dito?
Sino ba, ma'am?
Eh di yung mga katunggali ko na dalawa, na sigurado ako, may mga taong yun ang nagpaharap ng mga kasong yun.
Sino yung dalawa?
Alam na ninyo? Alam na ninyo yung mga koneksyon, basta ganito. Makikita naman ninyo sa mga galaw nila, sino bang may mga koneksyon sa malalakas na mga law firm? Sino ba ang mga, alam na nating dati pang mga kaalyado ng mga ibang tumatakbo?
Even so, Poe has high hopes that the COMELEC en banc will favor her appeal. Poe says what happens to her now is the same thing that happened to her father, Fernando Poe Jr.
Basta para sa akin po, itapon na ninyo lahat yan. Gusto ninyong gawin yan para ma-disqualify ako. Tatanggapin ko naman lahat yan. Maglaban tayo sa tamang paraan, basta lamang ang ating sinusulong ay para sa kabutihan ng ating mga kababayan.
Poe served as guest speaker in the Meet the Presidential series organized by Go Negosyo. On the other hand, Senator Bongbong Marcos advised Poe not to be disheartened and continue her fight.
Huwag kang hihinaan ng loob.
On his part, Senator Antonio Trillanes IV expressed his favor on COMELEC 2nd Division's decision.
I am extremely disappointed dito sa 2nd Division ng COMELEC.
Meanwhile, former Anwaray Party List Congressman Bem Noel, a Poe supporter, expressed doubts over the decision of the Poe Body 2nd Division.
Alam din namin na suspect yung timing. Lahat ng kampo, ng lahat ng tumatakbo, alam ang timing ngayon na nandun yung survey period, lalo na yung ulat bayan.
Meanwhile, the Senate Electoral Tribunal is set to discuss tomorrow Rosalito David's motion for reconsideration on post-citizenship issue. David's camp is so hopeful that the SET members would change their decision. According to some of them, however, they have thought of the issue before they have voted. Therefore, it is impossible to change it.
When you make a decision, you stick to it, right? But I cannot talk about the merits of the case because it's still there.
Darlene Basingan reporting for Y News.
Malacanang maintains that they have nothing to do with the COMELEC's decision to disqualify Senator Grace Poe in the 2016 national elections. Malacanang also refuted the allegation that the Liberal Party has a hand in the issue. Presidential spokesman Secretary Edwin Lasierda says they wouldn't have asked Poe to be the LP vice presidential standard bearer if they have already known about the citizenship and residency issue of Poe.
The first time who raised it up was, I think, Congressman Toby Tiangco raised up that issue. So nobody knew. In fact, we wanted her to be the vice president of the Ang Matuwid coalition. If we knew already ahead of time, it doesn't make sense for us to ask her to be our candidate.
Lasierda adds that they will await the development on Poe's case until it is brought up to the Supreme Court. Malacanang encourages everyone to respect whatever the decision of the Supreme Court on the case will be. Senator Grace Poe's supporters were dismayed with the ruling of the COMELEC 2nd Division canceling the lawmaker's certificate of candidacy for president. Victor Cosari will tell us why.
Senator Grace Poe supporters gathered in front of the Palacio del Gobernador in Intramuros, Manila this morning as a sign of protest to the ruling of the COMELEC 2nd Division canceling the senator's certificate of candidacy and denying her the chance to run for president. Yesterday, the 2nd Division of COMELEC granted a petition of Attorney Estrella El Amparo that seeks to deny due course or cancel Poe's COC for failing to meet the 10-year residency requirement for a presidential candidate. However, the group is not in favor of the decision, insisting that Poe has been in the country since May 2005.
Itong mga kasamahan natin kusang pumunta dito dahil hindi sila pumapayag na yung kanilang karapatan na pumili ng malaya at isang demokratikong presidente, tinatanggal lamang at pinipiling tanggalin ng 3 tao. Parang hindi yata tama yun.
The senator's camp is set to file a motion for reconsideration before the COMELEC on bank. Poe's supporters is hoping to get a reversal of the decision and the senator be allowed to run for president. COMELEC targets to come up with an official list of candidates by December 15. COMELEC spokesman James Jimenez said once the list is finalized, there will be no more addition to it. However, a candidate who has the same situation as Poe can still be included in the list if his or her disqualification case has not ended up yet in a final decision.
Kapag nakapag-file ng COC at hindi na disqualify or hindi na cancel with finality or merong mga pending motions, usually papasok yan. Kasama yan. Bakit? Kasi again, like I said, what if the ruling turns out to be in favor of the person you took out of the ballot? Diba? That'd be a more, I think, unjust situation kasi nanalo naman pala siya, pwede naman pala siya. Tapos bakit siya wala sa balota? It's easier to handle a situation where nasa balota siya pero hindi pala siya dapat doon kasi ang gagawin mo doon, ika-count mo as stray yung boto niya essentially, no?
However, an urgent motion was filed by Attorney El Amparo asking COMELEC not to include Poe's name in the ballot. Aside from El Amparo's petition, 3 more petitions against Poe's presidential bid is being handled by COMELEC's First Division. These are the petition for disqualification filed by former Senator Kit Tatad and the petitions to deny due course or cancel COC filed by Professor Antonio Contreras and Attorney Amado Valdez. Earlier today, Tatad's lawyer filed their memorandum and offer of evidence.
We are pretty confident that the First Division will also side with us, not because the Second Division has already ruled against her, but because of the superiority of the arguments that we have presented.
The First Division gave the parties up until December 3 to file their memorandum, and after which the cases will be submitted for resolution. Victor Cosare reporting for Y News.
The Bureau of Corrections clarifies that U.S. Marine Lance Corporal Joseph Scott Pemberton will stay at Camp Aguinaldo after being convicted of homicide for the murder of Jeffrey Laude alias Jennifer. Nel Maribuhok tells us why.
I want to make this clear. Kasi si Pemberton is covered by the provisions ng Visiting Forces Agreement kung saan dapat ikulong lang siya sa mutually agreed prison facility.
This is the clarification of Bureau of Correction Director Ricardo Rainier Cruz III on whether convicted U.S. Marine Lance Corporal Joseph Scott Pemberton will be detained at the New Bilibid prison. Cruz explains that the NBP Extension Prison Facility in Camp Aguinaldo is the identified mutually agreed prison facility based on the provision of the Visiting Forces Agreement. He adds that the Bucor and the Armed Forces of the Philippines has an existing memorandum of agreement stating that the NBP could use the detention facility at Camp Aguinaldo as an extension facility. Therefore, Cruz stresses that Pemberton will remain in Camp Aguinaldo.
Wala. Doon lang talaga siya.
Cruz says they are expecting oppositions, especially from supporters of the Laude family, once Pemberton is not detained in a regular detention facility.
Yun ang public clamor, pero we have to honor honor and respect yung international treaty natin.
Meanwhile, Pemberton's old security escorts who were American nationals were replaced with 50 local Bucor guards, specifically 18 personnel per shift.
Kami ang close in. Yung American guards, alam ko nandun din yata sila pero parang secondary layer lang sila.
Pemberton will receive 50 pesos food allowance per day from the Philippine government, but he may still spend using his own money. Nel Maribuhok reporting for Y News.
Senator Antonio Trillanes defends the Visiting Forces Agreement that critics blame for what they call a watered-down verdict on U.S. Marine Joseph Scott Pemberton. Darlene Basingan tells us why.
The Makabayan bloc has expressed dissatisfaction over the ruling of the Olongapo Trial Court that finds U.S. Marine Joseph Scott Pemberton guilty of homicide for killing transgender Jennifer Laude. The group of party-list lawmakers blamed the Visiting Forces Agreement, or VFA, for what critics describe a watered-down verdict against Pemberton and the possibility that he won't be permanently jailed at the new Bilibid prison.
Malinaw yung order sa loob mismo ng korte, they defied the direct order of the court to bring Mr. Pemberton, a convicted felon, directly to sa National Bilibid Prison.
Senator Antonio Trillanes IV, for his part, says the VFA is a law ratified by the Senate itself and thus has to be followed by the state. Trillanes also believes that the guilty verdict on Pemberton only proves that what is stated in the VFA works.
What happened today or yesterday is a proof that the VFA actually works. The United States government allowed their citizen to be subjected to our criminal justice system, and right now he is being punished for it.
As to the detention of the U.S. Marine, the former Navy lieutenant and Magdalo member says it is clear in the VFA that there has to be an agreement between the governments of the Philippines and United States on where to detain guilty American soldiers like Pemberton.
He stated there that in matters of detention, it should be a place that is agreed on by both the U.S. government and the Philippine government. So it's not an arbitrary decision. It's a joint decision by both governments.
The senator also adds that abolishing the VFA, as what its critics suggest, is a bad idea, as it helps in improving the country's armed forces through military trainings. Malacanang meanwhile remains mum on the issue, saying the matter regarding Pemberton's case rests upon the Department of Justice.
These are all matters which will be responded to because there are may legal issues dito, and also the VFA provisions yata. The knowledge on the VFA will be tackled by the DOJ.
Meanwhile, Senator Franklin Drilon and Vice President Jejomar Binay lauded the decision of the Olongapo Trial Court against Pemberton. They both believe that the said ruling will not affect the bilateral and diplomatic relations between the Philippines and the United States. Darlene Basingan reporting for Y News.
Former senators have asked Congress to deliberate on the proposed Bangsamoro Basic Law even without proper quorum. Tell us why, Grace Casin.
Congress has 6 more days before their session breaks this month. Until now, the basic law for the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region remains pending at the plenary level and has not been discussed in September due to lack of quorum. Because of this, former senators personally visited Congress and urged congressmen to push the debate on the proposed bill. Former Senator Aquilino Pimentel says the lower house should ease its rules and discuss the BBL even without quorum.
It is possible for the House to continue debating and require a quorum strictly only during voting.
However, Buhay Party List Representative Lito Atienza opposes the suggestion as he is the very first to question the House quorum. According to Atienza, as lawmakers, they themselves should strictly implement the rules in Congress.
Kung walang quorum at walang dumadalong enough numbers of congressmen, hindi pwedeng take up yung BBL.
But former Senator Leticia Ramos Shahani stressed that with the worsening terrorist threat in the world, the Philippines need the BBL.
The recent events now, I think, make the passage of this BBL more important for the peace of our country, because there is indeed a radicalization of ISIS all over the world.
The government and MILFP's panel have recently issued an open letter urging Congress to fast-track the passage of the BBL. The letter states that the entrance of extremist groups may be avoided, particularly the ISIS, once the BBL is enacted. Grace Casin reporting for Y News.
Several groups in Zamboanga City urged the next administration to pass the proposed Bangsamoro Basic Law in case it is not enacted during President Aquino's term. Grace Casin is back to tell us why.
Several groups in Mindanao believe that the peace process should continue even without the passage of the proposed Bangsamoro Basic Law under the current administration of President Benigno Aquino III. The ongoing Mindanao Week of Peace in Zamboanga City centered its talks on the PBL and how the people of Mindanao viewed the bill. According to Attorney Benedicto Bacani, Executive Director of Institute for Autonomy and Governance, there is a slim chance that the BBL would be passed during this administration. Although the Congress has till December 16 to discuss the BBL, Bacani said it is impossible to pass the bill as the lawmakers is already busy campaigning for the 2016 elections.
Ang sinasabi ko, mahirap nang ipasa. Napakahirap ipasa. Na almost it's dead. But under this administration, So hindi natin sinasabi na wala ng pag-asa yan. Ang sinasabi lang natin, kasi ang deadline for passing it is December 16.
Despite this, Bacani says there is still hope for the bill in the next administration. He adds that the next president should not disregard the bill as it is supported by international organizations.
Kaya dapat hindi tayo mawala ng pag-asa, no? Huwag nating isipin na kung hindi mapasa yung BBL, tapos na yung peace agreement, matatakot na tayo at magkakagera, no? Kasi ang MILF mismo ang nagsabi na itutuloy nila yung peace process sa next administration.
Several peace activists in Mindanao say although the expectation of most groups in the region dwindled, their hope for the BBL, which they believe would bring the lasting peace in Mindanao, is still firm.
Mataas ho ang expectation ng mga tao dito, lalong-lalo na ang mga MILF. Mataas ang expectation nila na maipasa ito. Ngayon, hindi natin alam. It's a big question mark. Pero sabi niya, hope is still alive. To me, I would interpret that na ang MILF gusto talaga magkaroon ng genuine kapayapaan sa Mindanao.
Grace Casan reporting for Y News.
Y News will be right back. The National Meat Inspection Service will intensify its inspection on meat being sold in the markets this holiday season. Tell us why, Joanna.
The National Meat Inspection Service and different local government units will conduct massive meat inspection among markets within Metro Manila, especially that holiday season is coming near. This aims to ensure that meats being sold in the market are safe to eat. Recently, more than 300 kilos of contaminated meat were confiscated by the Quezon City government in Novaliches Market. As to the monitoring of NMIS, during holiday season, tons of hot meat or contaminated meat are being sold in the markets.
Ang ginagawa ng ibang tindera, pinapahiran yung karne ng kalabaw ng dugo o kaya ng aswete para yung taba niya ay magmukhang dilaw. Minsan mabilis ang kanilang kamay, na naghahalo sila doon sa mga fresh meat ng mga spoiled, o sira o contaminated na karne.
Because of this, the NMIS reminds the public to be cautious when buying meat in the market.
Maging mapanuri, gamitin ang mata, gamitin ang pang-amoy, gamitin ang kamay na kinakailangan medyo kung available ang plastic, balutan ng kamay ng plastic, at hipuin kung ito'y madulas, ito ay senyales na nagkakaroon na ng spoilage, ang karne.
Aside from examining the meat, consumers can also look for the documents that prove that the meat being sold by the meat vendors have passed the meat inspection.
Wala pong masama kung kayo ay magtanong sa mga meat vendors, sa mga tindera, tanongin nyo nasan po yung inyong dokumento na katunayan ito ay nanggaling sa isang akreditadong meat establishment.
Under the Meat Inspection Code of the Philippines, violators of the law will be charged from 6 years up to 12 years imprisonment and will be fined amounting to 100 up to 1 million pesos. Presently, the NMIS, NCR, and the local government units have created a Meat Inspection Service Bureau composed of meat inspectors that are trained on the proper inspection of meat and were given lectures on the Meat Inspection Code of the Philippines. This group will lead the meat inspection on markets to identify if meats are safe to eat. The NMIS has also created a task force that will monitor meat products that are out in the market. For now, the NMIS has conducted an orientation of about 4,000 meat vendors about the proper and clean meat handling and selling in public markets. The agency also believes that it is a big help to prevent the illegal meat trading, specifically of spoiled meat in markets. Joan Anu reporting for Y News.
The northeast monsoon or amihan is affecting extreme northern Luzon. Pag-asa said Metro Manila and the rest of Luzon will experience isolated light rains with isolated thunderstorms. Visayas and Mindanao will likewise experience partly cloudy to cloudy skies with isolated thunderstorms. No cyclone is monitored over the Philippine area of responsibility. Police have raided more than 2,000 homes since France declared a state of emergency after the deadly attacks across Paris. Meanwhile, Indonesia says a faulty component and crew response were factors that caused an Air Asia passenger jet to plunge into the sea late last year. Anunyes tell us why.
In Indonesia, problems related to a faulty rudder system and pilot and crew response were among a string of factors that contributed to the crash of an Indonesian Air Asia jet last year that killed 162 people. Investigators say the Airbus A320 crashed into the Java Sea on December 28, less than halfway into a 2-hour flight from Indonesia's second biggest city of Surabaya to Singapore. The crash last year was part of a string of aviation disasters in Southeast Asia's biggest economy, where rapid growth in air travel has overcrowded airports and stirred safety concerns. In Russia, the widow of the Russian pilot killed last week when his jet was shot down by Turkey was presented with the Hero of Russia Award at a ceremony on Tuesday, December 1, given to her husband posthumously at the decree of President Vladimir Putin. The remains of Oleg Peshkov are due to be buried in his hometown of Lipetsk, west of Russia, on Wednesday, December 2, following a request by his family. The downing of the jet on November 24 has prompted a major rupture in relations between the two countries, with Putin this weekend signing off on a raft of sanctions against Turkey. In Paris, French Prime Minister Manuel Valls said on Tuesday, December 1, that French police conducted more than 2,000 raids throughout the country since the state of emergency was declared after the deadly attacks in Paris, which killed 130 people and injured hundreds more. He added that 5 to 6 attacks had been prevented in the past few months and that there would always be risk with an enemy like Islamic State. The state of emergency has been approved by lawmakers and will last until February 26. Valls said that there was a chance it could be extended further. And Nunez reporting for Y News.
A Czech firm presents a wall radar that is capable of detecting the slightest movement, such as breathing. Meanwhile, Japanese scientists create touchable holograms, believing these could contribute to architecture and medicine. Ray Consolacion will tell us why.
A group of Japanese scientists have created touchable holograms, three-dimensional virtual objects that can be manipulated by human hand. Using femtosecond laser technology, the researchers developed fairy lights, a system that can fire high-frequency laser pulses that last 1/millionth of 1/billionth of a second. The pulses respond to human touch so that when interrupted, the hologram's pixels can be manipulated in mid-air. The touchable hologram, which is being experimented with at the Utsunomiya University Center for Optical Research and Education, uses a laser provided by the university to the researchers. According to science website Pulse headlines, further development might eventually make it possible to create a computer keyboard made of light beamed onto a person's lap or allow video chat users to experience the virtual touch of the person with whom they are communicating. The website says the technology to create touchable holograms has previously been demonstrated, but the laser beams used to generate them burned human skin. Meanwhile, a ZEC radar manufacturer has presented a new design of wall radar they say can be used by security forces in hostage scenarios or in search and rescue operations after natural disasters. The firm Ratia AS, based in Pardubice, focuses on developing and manufacturing a variety of radar mainly for military purposes. The firm says their project provided innovative solutions compared to other models currently on the market. The smaller and lighter model of their Retwist 5 wall radar was initially developed for search and rescue operations involving finding people trapped under rubble. Its ability to detect people who are immobile but breathing has been also marketed by the company for use in hostage scenarios and to fight human trafficking. The Retwist 5 weighs 3 kilograms and can be used outside or inside buildings to find people behind walls, inside houses, or underneath lorry covers. Its batteries last for 6 hours of work. Ray Consolacion reporting for Y News.
The Philippine Blood Center has recognized the Members Church of God International once again as the highest blood contributor in the country through the Dugong Bayani Awards 2015. Ann Nunez will tell us why.
Ang ating pararangalan ay ang mga sumusunod. Members Church of God International.
The Philippine Blood Center honored the Members Church of God International with the Jose Rizal Award during the Dugong Bayani Awards 2015 last night for being the highest blood contributor this year. According to PBC, MCGI has donated more than 4,296 bags of blood in Metro Manila alone.
Una po sa lahat ay lagi na nagpapasalamat tayo sa Panginoong Diyos na naging bahagi po ng paglingap ng ating mga kababayan na nangangailangan ng dugo. Of course, yan po ay sa pangunguna ni Brother Eli Soriano at ni Kuya Daniel Razon.
PBC Executive Director Julius Lesiones expressed gratitude to MCGI for conducting quarterly blood donations for those who need blood supply.
Maraming salamat sa pagsuporta. At sana patuloy lang ang mga katulad niya ay tunay nga namang kaagapay namin at partner namin. Kung hindi sa tulungan nating lahat din, hindi natin magagawa ang mga bagay-bagay para sa ating pasyente.
Blood donation activities organized by MCGI are spearheaded by Brother Eli Soriano and Brother Daniel Razon.
Sapagkat alam natin napakahalaga ng dugo na hindi ito kayang tumbasan ng salapi sapagkat ito'y buhay. Dahil dyan ay sabi ni Brother Soriano, lagi nating tatandaan ang may-ari ng buhay ay ang Panginoong Diyos kaya dapat natin siyang purihin at pasalamatan magpakailanman.
The next schedule of bloodletting has been set by the MCGI on December 13. Ann Nunez reporting for Y News.
Boxer Mike Tyson comes face-to-face with his wax figure at Madame Tussauds in Las Vegas. Meanwhile, the philanthropic community welcomes the news that Mark Zuckerberg will donate 99% of his Facebook shares to a new project. Precious Ong will tell us why.
Mark Zuckerberg will put 99% of his Facebook shares, currently worth about $45 billion, into a new philanthropy project, focusing on human potential and equality, he and his wife said Tuesday in a letter to their newborn daughter. The plan, which was posted on the Facebook founder and chief executive officer's page and has attracted more than 360,000 likes, follows other high-profile billionaires such as Warren Buffett and Bill and Melinda Gates, who have set up foundations to dedicate their massive fortunes to philanthropic endeavors. In the 2,200-word letter, Zuckerberg and Chen touched on issues including health, education, internet access, and learning, before announcing the Chen-Zuckerberg Initiative, which aims to advance human potential and promote equality. Meanwhile, boxer Mike Tyson unveiled his very first wax figure at Madame Tussauds in Las Vegas on Tuesday. The figure is modeled after his cameo role in the 2009 hit comedy movie The Hangover. Decked out in slacks, a white-colored shirt, crocodile shoes, and according to Madame Tussauds, his favorite herringbone and houndstooth jacket. Nearly 20 artists spent 6 months creating the figure. based on more than 300 measurements and thousands of photos.
I just thought they wouldn't be able to get all the details of the cuts, but they did a remarkable job. I brought my nephew in to see a picture of the statue, and he thought that was me. He thought it was a real picture.
The wax figure will be part of the museum's permanent display as part of their hangover experience, featuring an entire room based on the popular films. Precious Ong reporting for Y News.
Those are the reasons behind the news, December 2, 2015. I'm Angelo Castro III.
Reasons we deliver to you as they unfold. I'm Gerry Alcantara.
Because we need to know, we will always ask why. Thank you for watching
Y News.